Okay, so we're going to be reviewing simplifying radicals. We did this at the beginning of the year, but most of y'all don't remember, so we're just going to review it. So to simplify radicals, it says that you pull out any perfect squares from inside the radical. You then put the square root of the perfect square on the outside, leave the remaining number on the inside. But first, let's review what are perfect squares. Somebody name some. 4, 1, what else? 16, what else? 32 is not. 36, keep going. 25. 49. I need one in between here. What's another low one that we missed? 9. Good. All right, and we'll stop there for right now. We can't do 6 because perfect squares are whole numbers that you can square to get another number. Like this one, for example, is 1 squared. This is 2 squared. This is 3 squared. 4 squared, 5 squared, 6 squared, 7 squared. Yeah, 64 would be one. Any questions about what perfect squares are? Okay, when I say find or pull out any perfect squares from inside the radical, what I'm asking is, are there any perfect squares that can divide into 48 evenly?
7 and 6.
Are 7 and 6 perfect squares, though?
No.
Alright, so what's a perfect square that can go into 48? 4. How many times? What's 48 divided by 4? 12, right? So I want you to rewrite this radical as 4 times 12. Because we know 4 times 12 is 48, right? Okay.
Have you already did this?
We have. We're just reviewing. Alright, and then from here, let's look at these two numbers. We know 4 is a perfect square. 12's not, correct? Are there any perfect squares that can go into 12? 3 is not a perfect square, but what is? 4, right? And how many times can 4 go into 12? Alright, so let's rewrite this again. Square root of 4 times 4 times 3. Everybody see what I did there? I kept the 4, I just broke up 12 into 4 times 3. Any questions about that part? No. So once we find perfect squares that can go into it, you then put the square root of the perfect square on the outside, then leave everything else on the inside. So what is the square root of 4? Okay, let's bring that out. What's the square root of 4 here? What has to be underneath the radical still? 3, right? Everybody see that? We took the square root of 4, which is 2. We took the 4 again, which is 2. We left 3 underneath the radical. Now all we have to do is multiply what's on the outside. So 2 times 2 is what? So I want you to write this as plus or minus, because it's always plus or minus when you take the square root, 4 square root of 3. That's it. What we could have done is instead of writing 4 times 4, we could have written what? 16. Because isn't 16 a perfect square? So the shortcut is to find the biggest perfect square that can divide into it. Any other questions? Okay, then let's look at the second one, square root of 20. Are there any perfect squares that can go into 20? 4 and 5. Good. So let's rewrite this as 4 times 5. What's the square root of 4?
2.
Good. So that goes where? On the outside of the radical, right? So plus or minus 2. And what has to stay underneath the radical? Good. Any questions about that one?
Wait, that was it.
That's it. And how do you know you're done? Look under the radical. Does any perfect squares go into 5?
No, man.
Good, then we can stop. Let's do 2 more together. I'll let y'all pick which 2. Okay? Okay. Let's do this one then. Also, you need to copy these down. Don't worry, I can screenshot it. Yes. Give me a second. Yes, I am. Okay. Let me zoom in on this spot. Alright, so on this side, let's go ahead and do 160 if y'all want to. Alright, what's the perfect square that can go into 160?
16.
Are you sure 16 goes into 160? You didn't sound so sure.
Yes.
How many times does it go into it? Okay, making sure. So let's break this up. Square root of what?
16 of 10.
Good. Are there any perfect squares that can divide into 10?
2.
Can I move out the way?
So 5 and 2 are perfect squares?
No.
So are there any perfect squares that can go into 10?
No.
Nope. What's the square root of 16? So what do we put up here?
Plus or minus.
Plus or minus 4, square root of. Very good. Yeah, you can scoot in that desk. You should be able to see better. It's at a weird angle. Okay. Y'all want to do one of the middle row or the last row?
Y'all crazy. The middle row.
Yeah, we'll do middle row.
Can we do one on?
Let's do this one.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the bottom we have 4. We're not taking the square root of it, right? It's just on the bottom. Let's leave it on the bottom. On the top, though, is there any perfect squares that can go into 44? 4 and 11. So let's rewrite it as 4 times 11. And what's the square root of 4?
2.
Cyrus, put your phone up. I didn't ask. Anyways. So on top has to be plus or minus 2. Square root of what?
11.
Over.
4. That's it?
It's not it. Because we can simplify it, right? Yes.
Oh, it's 1/2.
Good. So 2 goes into 2 and 4, correct? How many times does 2 go into 2? Just 1, right? So I can put plus or minus 1 or just square root of 11 over. And how many times does 2 go into 4?
2.
Good. So this is your final answer. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everybody has those days.
No.
Okay. I want you to work,
You ain't gonna help with the rest?
no, these 5 on your own. Actually, just do these 2. We'll work one of the last ones on your own. Just do these 2 right quick, and then we'll go over them together. Or actually, I'll call them somebody.
See what we got here.
What'd you do wrong here? Why did you pick 10 to 2? You gotta pick what? But 2 and 2 perfect square. But you gotta pick perfect square. That's gonna be what?
Oh.
On this one, how'd you get 10 on the outside?
Oh.
You try it first. Anybody need more time? Figure it out. Alright, anybody want to help me out with the first one? Alright, Guy. Tell me what to break it up as.
4. Then over 2.
Huh?
Wait,
You ain't doing 5. 5 and 4.
5 and 4. Alright, raise your hand and be honest. Raise your hand if you had a 10 times 2 right there. Okay, why can't that work, Mackie?
Because 10 isn't a perfect square.
And neither is what?
2.
Good. 10 times 2 is 20, but is 10 a perfect square?
No.
It's 2 a perfect square. That's why we have to pick a perfect square. We can't just pick any 2 numbers, okay? Alright, from here, Guy, what can we take out on top?
You take out 2.
So plus or minus 2, square root of what?
5.
Over?
1.
Over.
Question.
And now we can simplify this, because 2 divided by 2 is what?
1.
Good, so we do have to put it?
Plus or minus square root of 5.
That's it?
I have a question.
Yes.
What if I put 5 on the outside instead of 2?
It has to be the perfect square on the outside.
It's hard.
Yes.
I ended up with the same answer even though I got 10 and 2.
You can't, because you can't take the square, Guy, you can't take the square, square root of 2 or 10.
I did. I said,
On the outside, 2 divided by 2 is just be 1. So we don't have to put it on the bottom of it. Any other questions? But square root of 10 is not. Okay. Anybody want to help me out with the last one?
I did 9 and 10.
Alright, good, Jairus. So 9 and 10. Because which one's a perfect square? Good. And what's the square root of 9?
3.
Good. Plus or minus 3, right? Square root of? Over?
3.
So what's my final answer?
Plus or minus square root of 7.
Perfect. Here you go. Any questions? Good hands. Alright, I'm going to go over one of these, and again, you're going to do the other 2 on your own so you can pick which one.
5 and 54.
Okay. Everybody got that one down? Okay. 5 and 54. So for this one, what are some perfect squares that can go into 54?
9 and 6.
Good. So we can write this as 5 square root of what?
9 minus 6.
Alright, the only difference between this one is there's already a number on the outside. Nothing else has changed. So what's the square root of 9? Or? Or what? What's the square root of 9?
3.
Or negative 3. So plus or minus, let's go ahead and leave the 5. We can bring out the 3. Leave underneath what? 6. Good. So over here, what's 5 times 3? So we have plus or minus 15 square root of 6. That's it. Alright, try the other 2. Alright, go ahead.
Okay, so you had 2 on the outside, and then on the inside you have 2 and 4.
Okay.
And then you have plus or minus 2 times 2 square root of 2.
Okay.
And then you have plus or minus 4 square root of 2.
Very good. Any questions?
Yeah, you got it right.
Thank you. Alright, anybody want to help me out with the last one? Alright, anybody else but Guy, because he's already done his. Y'all gonna make me call him somebody? Alright, Levi. Alright, Heidi. Yes, alright, why can't we simplify this? Good, no perfect squares divide into 30, right? So what do we write right here? Very good. Alright, let's finish this first page and then we can pack up. Okay. Alright. So, let me zoom out. We have been solving quadratics. Maybe we won't pack up early then. Maybe we'll have homework instead. Alright, we've been solving quadratics by factoring, which means what y'all been doing on your test, right? You've been factoring them, then you set it equal to 0 to solve. Okay, but you know we have some that we can't factor, right? Because some are prime, or either some of them just don't have we just can't factor it. Okay, we are going to be using now the quadratic formula, and this formula at the bottom of your page can solve any quadratic, even the ones that you can't factor, even the ones that are prime. It can solve any quadratic. Okay, so again, while factoring may not always be successful, the quadratic formula, that's what goes in this one, can always find the solution. Alright, the quadratic formula uses a, b, and c from a quadratic ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are the what? Anybody remember?
A and C are your, dang it, friends. What?
No. Alright, if I gave you this equation right here, write this one down. 3x squared minus 2x plus 1, and I asked you what a was, you would tell me 3, because it's the what? Coefficient. Good, there you go.
I said components.
Good, so just for example, what would be a right here?
A1.
3. Coefficient. What would be b?
-2.
-2, and c would be
1.
good.